to make a decision to act decisively to stop Iran?
Not much. We're running out of time. I can't tell you if it's a period of months or a few years. It's certainly no more than a few years.
I picked up by the explosive charges with a timer, and I was smuggled by the Waqf police on the Temple Mount.
In Islamic apocalyptic thought, Jerusalem has a special role as triggering global jihad.
Israel, in Ahmadinejad's view, is the little Satan. The United States is considered the great Satan. We are both in the crosshairs of radical Islam.
They think that by creating a world crisis that it will bring their Messiah.
The greatest danger that the world faces is the arming of Iran with nuclear weapons.
What makes it so serious is that it's non-conventional weapons in the hands of non-conventional government.
When they decide to go down against Israel, that'll be the biggest mistake they've ever made, because Israel has one thing that they don't have: God.
We're telling about a much worse time than 9/11. The Bible predicts something in terms of an all-out conflagration of many nations.
There are few leaders today who really understand that we are engaged in World War III.
They are not seeing these scenarios of the end of days as something that will occur in 1,000 years, but as something that might occur tomorrow.
We're certainly blindsided by 9/11, and the question is, are we going to be blindsided by events that are coming?
Jerusalem. It's a city of only 700,000. Israel. It's a country of only 7 million. Why then do they ignite so much passion? Why do they generate so many headlines? Why are the eyes of the nations riveted here? We'll explain the momentous events shaking our world and shaping our future.
Israel is the epicenter of the world. Jerusalem is the epicenter of Israel. And the Temple Mount is the epicenter of Jerusalem.
The epicenter is really the Temple Mount. And who's going to own that Temple Mount?
Is it true that Shiite Muslim leaders believe the end is near? Do they really believe the way to hasten the coming of the Islamic Messiah is to annihilate the United States and Israel? Why is Russia selling arms and nuclear technology to Iran, the most dangerous terrorist regime on the face of the planet? Why do a growing number of Americans believe that the emerging alliance between Russia and Iran could set into motion the fulfillment of a 2,500-year-old Bible prophecy?
There are a lot of political and economic reasons why people have come to try to take over this country and this city. When you look at Israel, Jerusalem, and the Temple Mount through the third lens of Bible prophecy and the scriptures, you understand that because God chose this city, this country, and the Temple Mount for his own, the enemy, whom the Bible calls Satan, has chosen it as well.
This interest in Bible prophecy is not unique to the United States of America. I think as we become more and more of a global community, it's a concern of people all around the world in every nation, no matter where they are.
Bible prophecy is always relative to one single nation, and that is the nation of Israel.
And this is why it's the focal point of human history. This is why it's the focal point of our headlines, because it's a supernatural battle.
For the next 60 minutes, we'll take you inside the epicenter.
The Temple Mount is just above us, one of the most recognizable scenes in all the world. This is the foundation of the Temple Mount.
Straight ahead, exclusive interviews with Israeli political and military leaders.
I think the West fundamentally misunderstood and still misunderstands the threat of radical Islam.
We need awakening. Otherwise, it'll be too late.
A former PLO terrorist.
My mission was to destroy Bank Laoumi in Bethlehem.
Top Middle East analysts, religious scholars, and Shiite Muslim converts to Christianity.
They may tell your family you're there in jail, but they may execute you.
The Jews refer to this spot as Har Habayit, the mountain of the house, and it's because the house of the Lord, the temple, stood here. There's an interesting passage in the Midrash, an ancient piece of Jewish literature, that says, at the center of the world is the land of Israel, and at the center of the land of Israel is the city of Jerusalem, and at the center of the city of Jerusalem is the temple. So in the minds of the ancients, it was this spot that was the very epicenter of all of civilization.
Through these walls lies the foundation of the Temple Mount. Not long ago, Muslim authorities excavated a huge area for an underground mosque with the capacity of 30,000 people.
The building of this new mosque has just caused an uproar from the historical and archaeological community, if for no other reason than you have dirt being taken out of the ground by the tons that could have contained, and certainly did contain and does contain, artifacts from probably the first and second temple periods.
On the Temple Mount behind me stood some significant structures. One was the temple built by King Solomon. Later on, after that was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BC, Zerubbabel came and rebuilt the ancient stones that laid in this area. But many years later, under the time of the Romans, Herod the Great pursued a very aggressive building project and flattened this mountain, and a 36-acre complex was built. That was the temple that stood during Jesus' time. And Jesus predicted that the temple would stand in the end times. But something drastic happened. In 70 AD, this structure was destroyed by the Romans. It's never been rebuilt again. Instead, as you can see behind me, stands a significant Islamic mosque.
One of the really sad things that have happened in the modern era is that you can't even take a copy of the Bible, Old or New Testament, with you when you go up on the Temple Mount. Even going up on the Temple Mount is restricted as a Jew or as a follower of Jesus. And it's sad because this is a spot that God has chosen to be holy, and those who worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are severely restricted in this current environment.
Jerusalem, 70 AD. The Roman Empire destroys the holy city and tears down the second Jewish temple stone by stone. In an explosion of fire and tears, the Jews are expelled from the Holy Land and scattered across the earth. Despite their exile, the Jews maintain their unique social and religious customs. They are neither annihilated nor assimilated. They cling to each other and to the promises made repeatedly throughout the Scriptures that in the last days Israel will be reborn as a country. Jews will pour back into the Holy Land after centuries of exile, and ancient ruins will be rebuilt.
What is different about the Jews is that they refuse to conform to the patterns of destruction and disappearance that